My tiny sad kitchen. Hi, I'm Kitty Gumdrop and you're watching Kitty's channel. Why are we in my kitchen? Fudge. Now the reason why is because I promised my mom last Christmas that I would make her peanut butter fudge, and I didn't. And now it's Thanksgiving, so I thought it's an excellent time to make the peanut butter fudge I promised, right? Like, come on now, mom's good to me. I love my mom. I need to make her the things she asks, because she doesn't ask me that often. So, if you're interested in watching me make my mom some fudge, stay tuned. So as you can see, before we get started, this is my kitchen. This whole thing that we are standing in right now, and you are standing in the doorway. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I'm gonna get up in your face for 2 seconds so you can see how big this kitchen is, because I'm gonna step back to the wall. That's how many steps back it is to the wall, which means this is probably just like as tall as I am, and I'm like 5'8". So, welcome to my closet kitchen. I have all the ingredients prepped behind me already, and I have a few concerns that I'm gonna raise before I get started. Being one, mostly, actually. This is how much sugar it called for. It's 2 cups. It's not a lot, right? Like, it's not really a lot of sugar until... This is just over ½ cup of milk, right? I'm supposed to mix these two together and then bring them to a boil. I mean, I've made fudge before, but it's been a very long time, probably since I was in high school, actually. So about 10 years. And I feel like this is... okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it anyway. 1 3/8 of peanut butter. And then marshmallow cream, because I like marshmallow cream peanut butter fudge, and that's my mom's favorite too, so we're gonna make her favorite, of course. I like chocolate as well, but making it for mom. The reason I didn't measure this out is because I just figured I would take half of it, because it's 13 ounces and it called for like... 7. It called for 7 ounces of marshmallow cream, so that's what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna bring you in closer. You probably won't be able to see the stove, because... well, you know what? No, I'll just bring you in closer and tilt you down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is where my oven is. I just scooted you in about a foot from the door, so you're about where my fridge is now. And I'm gonna use this left burner so that you can see, because if I use the right burner, that's not gonna do anybody any good at all. And my oven is not dirty, I promise. It's just chipped because it's older than I am, I'm sure. And I've scrubbed it and scrubbed it and scrubbed it, and the only thing that seems to happen where those black spots are, there's more black spots formed. So obviously, like, the paint is coming off, or the whatever this is. Butter pan is the first instruction. I guess we're gonna butter the pan. Wash hands, first instruction. Slight good news about my kitchen. I don't have to walk away for anything except the trash can, because that's over there. Also, if I'm a little bit quieter and this seems a little more ASMR than normal, it's because literally right on the other side of this wall is my mom's apartment. My mom is my neighbor. But my mom's apartment is next door, and it's awful late for her, so I would prefer not to wake her up and get on her nerves, or let her know that I'm making fudge, if at all possible. So don't tell my mother, because this video is coming up before Thanksgiving, and I swear if you guys tell her, I'm gonna be so upset. Yeah, the kitchen. Ain't room enough for the both of us. You were in the way of the fridge. How I butter pans has always been this. I put the butter on the napkin and then I rub the napkin all the way around the pan and the pan is buttered. Oh, it's shiny. Less shiny because there's butter in it. After the pan gets buttered, which it's been buttered, we need to combine sugar and milk and bring to a boil in the saucepan. We can do that. So first, I'm sorry. I'm questioning this so hard. Sorry, that was loud. I'm questioning this so hard because I don't understand. Is this really gonna be? Okay, it looks like more once it's together. I'm gonna stir it all up first. It didn't light. Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
The left side of the stove won't light.
You might have to start the pilot light.
I do not know how to do that.
Okay, I'll come do it.
Okay, I'm gonna trade Michael spots, and he's gonna restart the pilot light real fast because I don't know how to do that.
Hello. So today, to learn how to start a pilot light, all you do is you take your stove, quietly, and lift it up. And yep, that was right. Well, it's lit. But barely.
It's lit, barely. I'll blow it out. Ew! What did you do to my stove?
What, this? And that's how you do that.
Alright, now that my boyfriend... Oh, I left the sugar and the milk in the living room.
I got you.
Now that we have the sugar and the milk back in here, it's over on the other burner for the second so that I can light the other one. But now that it's back in here, we can start making this fudge. Especially since Michael relit the pilot light. I noticed when he went to go give you the instructions on how to do it, he gave you the first one and then he just did all of it and then said, that's how you light a pilot light, and then he left.
I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah.
My bad.
So it's asking me to bring it to a boil. I have a gas stove, so that really won't take that long at all because it doesn't have to pre-warm. It's a flame now. It said bring it to a boil, and then once it's to a boil, I need to stir it. Boil at rapid boil for 3 minutes, stirring constantly, then remove from heat. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then once it's boiling, I'm going to try and tell you a story in 3 minutes. I'm also going to set a timer on Alexa so that we know exactly how long 3 minutes is, and see if my race to tell the story actually works, or if I fail miserably and burn the fudge. I would like to take this time to explain my wall as well. The wall isn't dirty. The wall has grease stains on the paint, and every time we try to scrub hard enough to get the grease stains off, the paint starts coming up. So maybe I might paint my kitchen for a video if you guys are interested. You guys can let me know in the comments below what color I should paint my kitchen, and then maybe I'll do that for you guys for a video in the future if you're interested. I'll know it's at a rapid boil when it's rapidly boiling, which means there will be a lot of bubbles forming very quickly, and then you just need to stir constantly or the sugar is going to burn to the bottom. And while that happens, when we get there, I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened to Michael at work today that he told me right when he got home, like less than an hour ago. Because I want to know your opinions on it. Okay, rapid boil achieved. Now, in order to not make it boil over, you got to turn it down just a little bit and keep it on a rapid boil, though. Alexa, set 3-minute timer. Alexa's going to keep time for us. Okay, so in this 3-minute time period, I'm not going to look at the camera, but I'm going to tell you a story really, really fast. So Michael at work today, we work at a fast food restaurant. I won't tell you which one because it's not important to the story and they didn't do anything wrong in this scenario. So what I'm going to tell you is somebody's food, like they claimed it was messed up. It doesn't really matter whether it was or wasn't at this point. What ended up happening is they got aggressive. The lady's husband decided that the lady's husband decided that he wanted to try to fight Michael while he was at work. Stood outside the window, blocking the entire drive-thru so that nobody could go through, and was threatening him the entire time on camera. So after Michael asked him to leave several times and the man didn't and continued to gesture at him to fight him, Michael ended up having to call our local police. Our local police came out and one of them was very helpful. The one that spoke to Michael was very helpful. The one that spoke to the other guy was very not helpful. Because what happened was the guy continued to try to threaten Michael. The cop who was speaking to Michael went outside to assess the situation and see what was going on the other end. And while he was out there, Michael overheard the guy say, well, there's no proof, there's no cameras. So Michael poked his head out the window and he said, actually, everything is on camera. We have a large camera system here and it was all recorded. And the cops looked at the man and he was like, well, then screw this, I'm leaving, except he was much more aggressive about it. And he started walking toward his car and Michael was like, no, I want to push charges at the very least. Well, hold on, I'll tell you that in a second. He was like, I want to push charges. This guy threatened me. And the cops were like, no, he's leaving. It's fine. The older cop who wasn't very helpful. And then, so Michael was like, can I at least get a no trespass order so he can't come back and threaten me while I'm at work? And the cops were like, he's leaving. Drop it. And the cop who was helpful to Michael looked at him like, sorry, dude. And then the cop that was not very helpful was just looking kind of intimidatingly at him. So Michael shut up and he went inside, and then he felt very disappointed because he feels like, what is he supposed to do in that scenario? He doesn't want to fight the guy, of course, and even if he wanted to fight the guy, we live in a town where there's a no fighting, like, there's no fighting. Both of you get arrested and both of you get put in jail if you fight. So, he doesn't want to lose everything just because some guy wants to scream at him at his job. Plus, he would lose his job if he fought somebody anyway. It's a lose-lose scenario if he fights the guy. He tried to get the guy to leave and he wouldn't. He called the police. The police did get the guy to leave. However, it took letting the man know that he was threatening on camera for that to happen. And then the cops wouldn't even make it so that the man can't come back. So, as far as we know, what if the guy is crazy? What if he showed up and just started stalking Michael at his own job? We don't have a no trespassing order, so there's nothing he can do about it other than ask him to leave, and then when the cops show up, the same thing. I do believe if that happened... Alexa, stop. We got our story done. Now it says remove from heat, add marshmallow fluff, peanut butter, and vanilla. Stir vigorously. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in a bowl and then come back when I have this pointing the other direction so you can see what I'm doing. And we're back over here. What'd I do with the spoon? Okay, spoon. Add marshmallow fluff, peanut butter, and vanilla. Stir vigorously. Oh, half a teaspoon vanilla extract. I'll do all the cleanup when I'm done. For now, I'm just trying to get the fudge made. So the peanut butter's in. Now comes about 7 ounces of marshmallow fluff. And this is a 13-ounce container, so I'm going to do about half the container. I'm pretty sure I just stuck my hand in my hair and got marshmallow in my hair. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because I feel like he did exactly what he was supposed to have done, considering we have a no-tolerance fighting in our town, which is good in most cases. I just feel like that probably could have been handled better, you know? And let me go ahead and clarify. This isn't the first time this has happened. Like, something like this happens all the time. And I mean, way more often than it should. I can't tell you how often I get threatened, called names. I've had stuff thrown at me once. No, more than once, actually. Let me tell you a quick story about what happened to me real fast. I had a man come through drive-thru. He had an open beer. He was drinking and he was driving. And that made me unhappy. So what I did was I poked my head out the window and I got his license plate number. And then I called the cops and I let them know that he had an open container of alcohol, was drinking from it in the drive-thru, and then he drove away and gave them the license plate number. Well, I didn't hear anything else about it. I went back to my job and I was working in drive-thru that night. So later that night, somebody comes through, they order food, and it wasn't the same man in the driver's seat, but they ordered food. And then they came through and they got their drink. I handed them their Mountain Dew. And then the guy who was in the driver's seat asked me a question. And when I leaned down to ask what the question was, I had a full Mountain Dew thrown at me and explode on my chest and soak me completely. And as they were speeding away, I grabbed the sides of the window and Spider-Man'd up into it and then looked out real fast, got that license plate number of a different car, called the cops, and reported what just happened to me. Because I'm not going to take that stuff, but I'm also not going to chase down a car and have my life and all the things that I've worked hard for threatened or lost just because somebody else wanted to act like a fool and had to suffer the consequences initially. Because what the cop told me when he arrived later, he arrived and took my statement, and then he went and did his thing, and he showed up and told me that when he pulled up to where the car was, it was parked next to the same vehicle that had gotten pulled over for drunk driving earlier, but the open container was gone by the time they got there. Or no, he was home. I'm sorry. He was home by the time they got there, so they couldn't prove he had an open container. Long story short, the guy did not look happy. There was a no trespass order on that instance because I'd had something thrown at me. But in the scenarios where people just threaten, not much is really done very often unless you get one of the really good cops. And there are good cops here. But it's very common here for people to feel like they're not going to get any help if they call them either, so there's that. I'm also not going to say where I live because I'm not trying to put them on full blast here. I'm just trying to say that if it's happening here, it's happening other places, and it's just... Some people aren't very level-headed, and you're going to feel like you're trapped in situations like that, and that's not a fair feeling for anybody to feel like. Okay. This is what the fudge looks like when it's completely mixed up. I mean, I see bubbles, but I don't see lumps. How about you? Bubble lumps. That'd be a really good gamer tag on Xbox. Bubble lumps? Mm-hmm. Anyway, the only thing left for me to do now is get this transferred over into the pan, and then I'm gonna leave it on the counter to cool for about an hour or two, and then I'm gonna transfer it to the fridge to cool fully, and then I'm gonna cut it into squares and present it to you, and then I'm going to eat one and let you guys know how it is. And then I'll tweet about how my mom liked them, because I'm not going to be able to show mom on camera. It's the middle of the night, and this video has to go up in the morning. Regardless, I will let you guys know on Twitter how my mom liked them on Thursday when I bring them to Thanksgiving. So look for that update on Twitter at Kitty Gumdrop, and hopefully it's a good thing. Fudging time, making fudge for my mom, 'cause I forgot to last year. Fudging time, I do this for my mom 'cause I love her so dearly. I love you, Mom, I will make you fudge. I love you, Mom, I love you so much. I didn't think about it, and I just licked that, and it came off the stove. Now, I'm going to say I'm fine. That makes it sound like I'm not fine, and I'm going to say it anyway. I am fine. It wasn't hot, but it was warm, and it reminded me that it just came off the stove, and I sat here and I was like, that could have been so bad. I'm going to lick it again, though, now. Honk. Honk. So it's been about 3 hours since I finished making the fudge. It's cooled completely. I've cut it into little squares. This thing's so bendy. I just bought one of those like cheap throwaway tins and it keeps bending every time I touch it. But that's the little squares I got the fudge in, and I'm gonna have me, Michael, and Nate all try one since we're all here. And then I'm gonna put it on a plate so Mom doesn't know we tried it before her, so don't tell her, okay? You guys wanna come try this fudge?
Yeah. That's really good.
It is really good. It's my Nana's recipe, so her food's always really good. Alright, so that's what I did this week, is I made fudge for my mom for Thanksgiving in my tiny little Barbie-sized closet kitchen that you all got to stand in with me, and it was really terrible, wasn't it? Nobody can function in a kitchen like that. I actually like to cook. This is really insulting that I have to cook in a Barbie kitchen. So if you liked that video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next Monday because I make new videos every single Monday. Bye!
That was good fudge, though.
Good. We can have more in a few days.
Yeah.
Until then, you get to stare at it in the fridge, and so help me if I find a square missing.